If Man City loses, you know, that is our chance to go on top of the table.
Yeah.
Even though they will have another game in a game over us.
A game in hand, right?
Yes, that's still an advantage for us. You know, we keep them on their toes because there's no way we are going to give them this title. You know, this is not like the year when Man U was second and Man City won the league with over 21 points.
21 points, yeah.
Man City was at 100, the second team was at 81. What the hell is that?
Yeah, so you can't compare. You really can't compare.
Yeah, you can't.
Reckless talk. Son of a Justin. Hey, reckless talk. But I got expensive habits. Don't step in salt. I'm a real one. Check my fabric.
Hey, this is Don from Kenya Gunners TV, and I'm with
Ridge, Kenya Gunners TV.
So today, tomorrow we have the Arsenal versus Brighton game.
Yes.
And we equally have the Man City, the Everton versus Man City
Everton,
game.
Man City, yeah.
Yeah, so quite an eventful, by the way, weekend, or rather Sunday. So man, tell me, what do you make of the game? Because you know, we'll be looking at
first the Man City
game, and then we'll also now watch the Arsenal game.
Yes.
So the first game, actually, the Man City game, the Everton versus City game, you know, it's a game that actually, you know, it's more of like a game that is going to give us a platform of knowing exactly what we want to do. Because, you know, right now, by the two teams, Arsenal, Man City, these are teams that, you know, we're basically racing for the title.
Yeah, it's title contention at the moment.
At the moment. Then if you look at Brighton, they're also in the
European football.
But remember, they're also, you know, they're also racing for the top 4 as well.
Yeah, they're racing top 4 and Europe football.
Yeah, because the top 4 race right now is between Liverpool,
Man U,
Tottenham, and Brighton. Oh, Newcastle as well.
Yes.
And Brighton as well. Don't write them off.
Brighton,
Brighton as well.
Sure.
But then looking at Everton also, Everton is as well as actually
fighting relegation in survival mode.
They're more like in survival mode right now. So tell me, what do you make of the game? First of all, let's start with the City game.
Yeah, the City game, in relation to Arsenal, is that this is a top of the table thing, you know.
Right.
If Man City lose tomorrow, which I think is very likely to happen, it is going to happen. It can happen, you know. Everton in survival mode with Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
You saw what happened at Brighton.
Yeah.
Really good. Five classic goals by Everton, you know. And then Man City is going to their game. So if Man City loses, you know, that is our chance to go on top of the table.
Yeah.
Even though they will have another game in a game over us.
A game in hand, right?
Yes. That's still an advantage for us, you know. We keep them on their toes because there's no way we are going to give them this title. You know, this is not like the year when Man U was second and Man City won the league with over 21 points.
21 points, yeah.
Man City was at 100, the second team was at 81. What the hell is that?
Yeah, so you can't compare. You really can't compare.
Yeah, you can't compare. These are serious title contention. If you think about it, if we had even won our game versus Southampton, one of the games that we drew, this could have been a very different story.
Yeah, definitely.
But then it is what it is at the moment. So we have to go with what is happening, you know.
Right.
Man City and Arsenal, game in hand for them. But then we are still 1 point apart, and we are going to keep this up to the last minute. So if you look at it, it is going to be a tough game for Man City. Right. And an advantage for us if they lose. Yes.
But then look at this, you know, it's an advantage to us after we win.
Yes. After we win. Yes. If they lose, it is an advantage for us because we will now have to win. Like we know what to do, you know. It is unlike now when they win, if they win, and then now tunajua tu hata tukishinda bado tu tuko na a point.
The thing is
separating us.
The thing is
but then just a minute. Right. But then if they lose, our boys will know what to do, and that is an advantage, and that will give them an extra push.
Not really, Rich. I disagree with you by the typical Arsenal. Typical Arsenal. These guys, Arsenal has a tendency of when the pressure is off them, they tend to perform very, very, very well. And it's facts. Whenever it calls for us to now rise to the occasion, man, we always find a way of crumbling. And then now when the pressure is off us, like you see right now, the pressure is off. The Chelsea game, we played very well. The game we played last week, Newcastle game we played equally well, because the pressure is off. But whenever the pressure is there, that's the thing that usually worries me about. I'm not really confident in that team, but because when the pressure now kicks in, that's the moment these guys crumble. So like if looking at it from this perspective, if Everton beats City, remember the pressure will kick back to us, because we'll be more like we'll have the pressure of we have to win this game. We have to win this game. You know, pressure man bursts pipes.
Yeah, that's true.
Busting pipes, yeah.
But I think for me, I think it's quite unfortunate that you are a bit harsh on these boys, you know, considering that this is the first time they have been really put under pressure.
Yeah.
And for me, I think so far so good. The pressure management by our boys has been good.
Yeah.
They have been put under very tight pressure with the age that they have, and then they have still managed to keep their heads up, you know. Those games that we drew, they had the pressure, but then we never lost the games. It was just a draw. We got a point or two in the Premier League, bro. That is the Premier League, the best league in the world, where any team can win, any team can beat any team, and our boys still managed to do what they could do. And but so far, just a minute. So far, I think the pressure will be on them, but I think they are becoming better at handling this. Being this the first time they are being put under pressure. The first season, the last season they were under pressure in the race for top four. And then, you know, that was last season. We didn't have the same squad that we have this season.
Right.
But this season, you see, they have been consistent, game in, game out, from the time when everybody had written us off. Nobody even thought we would be even in top four. But right now we are contending for the title, going toe to toe.
Yeah.
You know, I've even seen some pundits and some critics saying that this Arsenal team, if they will not win this season, then they will never win it again. And I'm like, are you mad, man?
Yeah.
Why are you speaking some bullshit? Because first, we have the youngest squad of average age of 24.9 years. So that means these guys will only get better. The only thing we need to do is boost this squad, you know. So the game on Brighton, if Man City loses, the pressure will be on them. But then one thing I believe is that our players have found form. You know, if you look the last two games versus Chelsea and versus Newcastle, Jorginho found his best form in an Arsenal shirt.
Odegaard found his best form.
The same. Odegaard played a really good game, taking the game by the horn, by the head, and then playing with his best. You know, he was calm, collected. He was a leader. I have not seen Odegaard in that kind of form in an Arsenal shirt. That was the best. And then if you look at Martinelli in the game versus Newcastle, was brilliant. Was brilliant in that game. He got a goal, you know. And then if you look at Saka was having a poor form in the game that we drew, coming to the Chelsea game, and then the Newcastle game, he got back into his form. He never got a goal or an assist, but then he almost scored actually, but he almost scored. Yeah, he was playing at his best. If you look at our defenders, Kivior coming in second game, playing a very solid performance, getting a clean sheet in a game versus a very physical team. So I think the pressure will be on them, but I believe that these boys know what they are doing, and they will go all out for the 3 points.
So let me correct you first of all. I'm not being harsh on these guys. I'm just stating facts. The fact is this. Listen to me. The fact is this, man. These guys are young. Like you say, they're young, by the way. Like Quinnes have been saying, they're young, you know, and young and inexperienced, but pressure tends to kick in, by the way, and it's very hard for anybody actually in any industry. In any industry, if you're young and inexperienced, definitely pressure will kick in, and you tend to crumble along the way. So get this. I'm not being harsh on these guys, and listen to me. These guys have done so well, by the way. For these guys actually to reach where they are, and if actually they go ahead and win the season, by the way, it will be actually like we never expected us to be in the to league. But the fact is this, man, these guys are young and inexperienced, and somehow by their pressure will definitely kick in. And you see, this is the vice versa by the way with City, because these guys, I mean, right now they're in their prime.
Yeah, that's
De Bruyne,
everybody
in City is in their prime.
Yes.
And you see, they somehow managed, but they have the experience. They've been here before. You know, they've done this man before. So the Pep is an experienced coach, by the way. You know, so they've done this before. So somehow they have a way of absorbing that pressure, by the way, unlike our boys. But get this, the guys have done so well. And any Arsenal fan, by the way, who's who's against Teta or against the players, you guys must be smoking something.
Yeah.
But these guys have done so well by this season. And I say this again, even if you don't win the Premier League, man,
they have made us proud. They made us proud. We can only be even more hopeful for what is to come.
Yeah, because next season, by the way, definitely, you know, this experience kicking in that they're getting, you know, these details, you know, knowing how to handle pressure. I'm sure by the next season, and look at it, last season, by the way, when the pressure kicked in, by the for the top 4, we crumbled. But you see, that was a lesson.
Yeah,
this season as well. Yeah, this season as well, it's a lesson. So I'm sure as time goes on, but they will get the hang of it, and they'll be able to know how to, you know, manage pressure. And you know, it's experience also. It's experience also kicking by there for the lads. So tell me, the Brighton game, man, it's a tough game. It's a tough game because looking at the master stats, master statistics for the games they've had, they always have a tendency. Yeah, they always have a tendency, but they were bouncing back. And remember, these guys were beaten by Everton, by the way.
Their last game, 5-1.
5-1.
Crazy score.
Yeah. So I'm definitely sure they would want to bounce back by there. What do you make of it? What do you make of these guys wanting to bounce back for the, you know, for the Arsenal game?
You know,
yeah,
I actually saw the Everton manager De Zerbi saying that they're going to play the best football they have been playing.
Yeah, I saw that
the Emirates.
I saw that too.
You know, it is quite good. You know, De Zerbi is a good manager. And one thing is that Brighton has been playing one of the best football in the Premier League.
Right.
You know, going head to head with big teams, contending for Europe football. And now this is a chance. You know, we also, let's not forget about our team. You know, we'll be at home. We have only lost 1 game at home this whole season.
Yeah.
So I think this game, with the injury of Zinchenko, I think we'll still manage the game.
Yeah, we'll still manage the game.
They will want to come and bounce back. But then, see at TCC, like, we are not a small team. We are a big team, man. Yeah. We have the best. We have the best squad in the Premier League. I can say that.
Yeah, facts.
After Man City, I think we are on a neck-to-neck basis with Man City. And then if you consider that Man City have experience and everything that they have over us, and they are in their prime, and then have been able to keep them on their toes up to now. You know, that means we have a very good team, we have good management, and we have a fan base behind this team. And you know, now when they come to Emirates, they will not have it easy. You know, I think this is a big call, but then I'm very sure the game of Man City, if Man City lose, our boys will have the belief that they can still win the league.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be a big push for our team, for our boys.
Yeah.
And in tomorrow's game, Brighton might say they will want to bounce back and all that.
Yeah.
But then at the Emirates, with everything that is at stake at the moment,
yeah,
it will be a very hard job for them.
Yeah.
And our boys might have a very good run of form.
Yeah.
And they might even run over that Brighton team. Yeah.
So the thing is this, I agree with you, but somehow there's also a part of me that is also, you know, looking at the way they've been playing in the statistics, they always have a way of bouncing back.
Yeah, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie, by the way.
Yeah.
But they're the Emirates, and you see the problem with us also, we also have a way of crumbling at the Emirates. If you look at most of the games we played away,
our home games,
we
have conceded some goals at home.
And talking about conceding, by the way, if you look at the way Brighton plays, you know, Brighton is not the kind of, you know, it's not the kind of team that, you know, kicks in the defensive mode, kind of, you know, they're not like Newcastle, by the way.
Yeah.
Those guys attack the whole time.
Yes.
And if you look at our way of playing also, it's also attack.
Yes.
So you definitely expect these guys to score. And think of it, Rich, man, if you look at the game that they played when we were at
Brighton.
When we were at Brighton, by the way.
Amex Stadium.
It was it
was a 4-2.
4-2.
Yes.
It was a 4-2 game, but remember, but then
we considered stupid late
goals. And actually, by the way, if a bit of time would have been added, by the way, trust me, but they would have drew. Man, because remember, Mitomi actually scored, but then it was ruled off with a VAR. So I'm telling you, Brighton is those kind of teams that, you know, man, their strength, but there is an attack.
Yes.
So now, jumping into goal predictions, by the way, man, what do you make of the... Why are you looking at the scores?
I'm looking at the scores. I think if we analyze in terms of the squad, you know, Caicedo for Brighton, they have Mitoma, Their defense is solid.
Yeah.
I think that advantage that they have is they are good. They have a very good squad. They have a team. They have a good manager. We have a better team. We have a better manager. We'll be at home. So I think our boys, we look at the past games that we conceded silly goals at the Emirates, and I think that will be a key lesson for them. One thing that I've noticed about Arteta is that he always tends to look at past games and learn from his mistakes. Look at the game versus Newcastle. He subbed Zinchenko off and put Tierney on when he realized that Zinchenko was being overrun in that left side. I think the boys will go and sit and look at the games that we conceded, silly games versus at the Emirates, and they will not want to repeat the same mistakes. And I think that pain of knowing that we had some games at home and we drew like the Southampton game, you know, that pain, that is going to push them.
I agree.
That is going to push them. All the goals that we've conceded at the Emirates, that is going to be a lesson for them. So I think this game, it is going to end 3 to Arsenal versus 1. They'll be lucky if they get 1 goal at the Emirates, because I think this game will be a clean sheet game. But then because our defense is not at the best with Saliba being out, we may concede a goal. So 3-1 to the Arsenal.
3-1 to the Arsenal.
Yes.
For me, I'll give it a 2-1 to the Arsenal, because I'm sure Mitoma will definitely find a way of getting the ball back in the net. But I'll give it a 2-1. Yeah, and that's my take. So the other question that I actually had for you as well, Trossard came from Brighton, right? Do you think he should start by there for the Brighton game?
I really don't think it will be a good idea for Trossard to start. First, he has shared the dressing room with these Brighton players.
So
the manager knows him. So they will look at him and they know his weaknesses, they know his strengths.
They don't capitalize
and they will look to capitalize on that. You know, unlike someone like Martinelli, Martinelli, when he played in that away game at Brighton, he was so good versus Lamptey. Lamptey is fast, but then that game, you saw what happened. Martinelli,
but then he's injured actually.
But then he's injured. So they have Stupinian. I don't know. I think it's a Stupinian or someone else playing that wing. So I think Martinelli, it's Caicedo actually. Caicedo started as a right back in the Man U game, and I think he is going to start as a right back versus the Arsenal game, because De Zerbi will want to contain Martinelli. But then I think when you overload the Martinelli wing with Caicedo, they will give us a chance to dominate the midfield.
Right.
When we dominate the midfield, I think the game is won at the midfield. You dominate the midfield, you win the game. And then we'll have an outlet through Saka. We have an outlet through Xhaka. We have an outlet through Odegaard. And Jorginho, if he starts, he's still an outlet too, because he's good with the long balls. He can also shoot from the outside the square, outside the box, same as Odegaard. So I think we are going to give them a run. The other contention that I think is going to be tough, but then Ben White has been good, is Ben White versus Mitoma. Mitoma plays in that left wing, and the person will be going up against him, Ben White. The Mitoma versus Ben White contention at that wing, that will be interesting to watch. But then I believe Ben White has had this season, I can give Ben White a solid 9.3 performance out of 10, because he has been phenomenal. You know, he came in as a centre back. Arteta has been able to manage him and slot him into that right back position where Tomiyasu plays, and at some points we saw him even starting ahead of Tomiyasu when he's not even a natural right back. So I think Ben White is going to have a good game, and he will do his best to contain Mitoma. Mitoma is good at dribbling. I think they will have to find they will have to work a way of knowing that Ben White is also a good right back as well. And it's going to give Mitoma a hard time going forward. So that's it from us. You know what to do already. Ensure you like, share, and subscribe. Just 3 things I need from you. By the road right now is actually to 1,000 subscribers. For the guys who subscribed thus far, thank you very much. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Yes, man. Come on, you Gunners.